Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Friends, before going into the details of the war, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell. Please support by subscribing and turning on the notification bell. We are a strong community. Why the invasion of Ukraine has people panic buying iodine? Since the beginning of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, iodine sales have been on the rise across Europe, with shortages recently being reported in Finland. Here, the government recommended that every household has a single dose of iodine tablets, in case of a nuclear event, leading to the shortages in pharmacies. Elsewhere across Europe, including in Bulgaria, Poland, and the Czech Republic, there have been reports of people buying iodine in the belief that it offers protection in the event of a nuclear war. While potassium iodide can protect you against certain types of radiation, experts and various nuclear authorities across Europe have stressed that taking the tablets is not necessary for many people and that it won't help in the event of a nuclear strike. If you are aware of the association between iodine and nuclear radiation, it may be due to the nuclear accident at Chernobyl. During the meltdown of the nuclear power plant, a radioactive form of iodine 131 was emitted from the core of the reactor. Iodine 131 is readily absorbed by thyroid glands, and with a half-life of 8 days, it will sit there doing radioactive damage to your DNA and the surrounding tissue. It's approximated that 270,000 people in the area developed cancers, who wouldn't have done if the incident had not taken place, largely due to iodine 131 contributing to thyroid cancers. However, there is one non-radioactive isotope of iodine that can help stop your body from absorbing the radioactive form: iodine 127. Just 4 neutrons different to its fatal, cancer-causing counterpart, iodine 127 is radioactively stable, and so will not cause radioactive damage to your body. It works by sating your body's thirst for iodine, providing it with all the iodine it can handle. As does potassium iodide, the salt of non-radioactive iodine and potassium. When a person takes the right amount of potassium iodide, at the right time, it can help block the thyroid from absorbing radioactive iodine, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention explains. This happens because the thyroid has already absorbed the potassium iodide, and there is no room to absorb the radioactive iodine. Think of filling a jar with blue marbles. If you then pour green marbles over the jar, there will not be room and they will just spill out. During the Chernobyl incident, potassium iodide was given out to the population. Though it's not possible to gauge how many lives it saved, the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, says if it had been more widely distributed, it could have saved many more children from developing thyroid cancer. While potassium iodide may be useful against iodine 131, other types of radiation are emitted by these disasters. What's more, taking it would only be useful in the event of a nuclear accident, and would not reverse damage that has already been done. Taking it can also cause rashes and inflammation, as well as severe illness and death in large quantities. Though governments such as Finland are advising people have a dose on hand, it is because of potential threats caused by Russia taking over nuclear power plants, rather than any worries about the possible use of nuclear weapons. Governments are also advising that you do not need to take them until you are told. The current situation in Ukraine does not require the intake of iodine tablets. The Federal Agency for Nuclear Control Belgium tweeted, "These will remain available free of charge at the pharmacy, but are not necessary in this specific case. Only take iodine on the advice of the government. In the event of a nuclear attack, iodine tablets would provide little protection," according to Brooke Budemeyer, a health physicist and expert on radiation at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory. Radioiodine only makes up around 0.2% of the total exposure you would face outdoors, Budemeyer explained to Business Insider in 2017. Russia may pay a stiff price for bringing Iran into the war. Opinion on Monday. The Ukraine-Russia war took a new turn when deadly Iranian-supplied kamikaze drones hit the streets of Kiev. The Shahed 136s may be less sophisticated than Ukraine's Turkish-made Bayraktar drones, but they are cheap, can travel long distances, and are hard to detect, giving Russia the power to change the equilibrium in this enduring war. But while the Iranian regime selling military equipment and fighting proxy wars is nothing new, this time Iran's actions sparked a chain reaction. The European Union threatened Iran with graver sanctions, and the United States declared Iran had violated UN Security Council resolutions. But beyond the condemnation of Iran's actions, the drone attacks have shifted the global dynamics of the Ukraine-Russia war, carrying real implications for the Middle East, especially Israel. Tehran and Moscow have military bases on Israel's doorstep, namely in Syria, giving them easy access to infiltrate the Jewish state. Although Israel's technological military advances surpass Russia and Iran's, this logistical disadvantage has always been a concern. Trying to strike a delicate balance, Israeli Defense Minister Benny Gantz reiterated on Wednesday that Israel might supply Ukraine with rocket and drone alert systems to help save civilian lives, but not weapons. Newsweek's subscription offers greater than 2 days before Gantz's statement, and the same day when Iranian drones hit Kiev. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev warned Israel against supplying weapons. Perhaps unsurprisingly then, Israel has so far refused to join other Western nations in applying sanctions against Russia, despite U.S. pressure. U.S. Undersecretary of State Victoria Nuland went so far as to tell Israeli media, "We're asking as many countries as we can to join us. We're asking that of Israel as well." And President Biden said it all. "We ask all democracies in the world to join us in enforcing the financial and export control sanctions that we imposed on Putin." Now, with the Tehran-Kremlin axis strengthening, it seems probable Israel might just rethink its stance. After all, sanctions are the primary tool in the US-led international strategy to weaken and isolate Russia. A strategy which is now being adopted by the EU and US against Iran. In Iran's case, it is an approach that has won a groundswell of support, outside and even inside Iran, as Iranian dissidents and protesters have approved of harsher sanctions. The last resort. How Russia pressures Europe into making Ukraine capitulate this winter. It will be a year since the beginning of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. To mark the occasion, the Kremlin hopes to finally push Europe far enough so that it makes Ukraine sit at the negotiating table, agree to the aggressor's terms and capitulate. The thing is, after Ukraine's armed forces succeeded in a counteroffensive in the east and launched one in the south, Russia realized it couldn't beat the Ukrainian army. That's why Russia is trying to get what it wants by intimidating Europe, including with pro-Russian voices and agenda in the West. Propaganda is Russia's only weapon that works. Elon Musk's recent tweet proves it. The tweet started a storm of emotions in Ukraine and worldwide. The American business magnate essentially offered to end the war in Ukraine the way Russia wants it. But Musk, along with the whole civilized world, should understand this. No matter how economically challenging this winter will be, any concessions to the aggressor will have worse consequences. The West's weakness in response to the Kremlin's blackmail will encourage Putin to launch even more violent attacks. And Ukraine is by far not his biggest ambition. So read on to find out why this year the EU and the West should embrace the opportunity to dispel illusions about Russia as a partner. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.